There's a quote that I like to. It reminded me what you just told me is the pain ends with me. There's there's people who have a lot of bitterness in their lives or whatever because people were mean to them or they were bullied or even abused or something, and they have the option in their adulthood. Let's say they were hit as a kid or something. Instead of sort of just taking it and holding it and never passing it on, the psychic pain is so much that they have to pass it on because that it feels at the time like it's gonna be a relief or something. But what you end up doing is passing it to the next generation. So there's this generational, let's say alcoholism or something. If someone's father was an alcoholic or they were abused in other ways, you have, it takes like superhuman discipline and self-control and to say like, I'm going to end that cycle that has been passed on. Like if someone's dad was beaten when he was a kid, and that I'm just using extreme examples. Right. So there's examples of somebody who has like a psychic wound that they received when they were a kid. It's not their fault that they had it.
Yeah.
But they can or cannot, they might not pass it on. I would use an extreme example of, people talk about the grooming things, and that's why the Drag Kid Story Hour freaks out so many people. I want to say this with sensitivity because I don't know if it's true. They say a lot of people who are in the LGBT rainbow stuff were hurt as kids.
Yeah.
And so you guys being around kids freaks me out because what if your psychic wound is saying, I want to pass it on?
Well, it is.
But the best way, it's not your fault that you were hurt as a kid, I want to tell them, but just don't let yourself be in a setting where you can pass it on.
But so think about the problem we're facing right now with, conservatives saying anime and cartoons are demonic or bad. They're literally saying a positive masculine influence for my child is a bad thing they shouldn't have. So then what's the alternative? The chaos of Drag Queen Story Hour?
The kids will find entertainment somewhere.
And it's wolf cubs play fight.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were saying no, you shouldn't be allowed to be inspired by these stories of masculinity and strength. The story of Naruto is whenever he confronts a villain, he tries not to kill them. He tries to turn them, to convince them, and then he's successful in many regards. The same thing is true for Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. Dragon Ball Z, almost all the villains somehow become good guys. Even Frieza has an arc where he teams up with them. It's amazing.
It's funny.
With Dragon Ball Z, they convert all their enemies. Krillin was a rival to Goku, then they're best friends. Vegeta tries to destroy the Earth and then literally becomes the second greatest hero. I love how they do that. If you're saying these stories of Dragon Ball Z, let's talk about that. Goku trains at 100 times gravity to become strong enough to save his friends. Frieza, don't worry about the names of the characters. Just the bad guy kills his best friend and then Goku loses it and then his power tremendously increases out of rage. You don't want young boys to learn the lesson of struggle, become stronger, improve yourself, be the hero, sacrifice. What are they going to get if they don't have that? What they're going to get is it's going to be RuPaul's drag race.
Yes.
They're going to get whatever they can from TV because you're saying this is bad.
Which is ironic because conservatives would agree with the statement of training makes you stronger, helping your friends makes you stronger.
Captain America, dude.
They're preventing their kids from watching things, like you said, from the very things that will make them have the values that you want to pass to them.
Here's what you got to do. Okay, conservatives. You give your kids Batman, Superman, Naruto, Black Clover.
Let them discover it though. It has to be theirs, not yours.
But I'm not so sure. But I see what you're saying. But here's the point. The point is, they go to their friends, and they'll say, "Look at this thing that I have.
It's so cool.
Yep.
Look at this thing I found in the basement. It's called Dragon Ball."
Yep, that's right. But I don't think it's always true that if dad's doing it, kids think it's uncool.
No, that's probably But it has to be something that's special to them, and they just want to devour it.
Right. I think, the way I got into anime was just through a friend. My parents obviously weren't into that stuff.
Yeah.
But my dad brought me to go see the Batman movies and stuff like that. My family would bring me to go see all that stuff.
I had a church friend corrupt me back when Adult Swim and the Sci-Fi Channel had like old Appleseed and Dominion Tank Police, even before Ghost in the Shell became hot. And he corrupted me with all his like, look, I can download all this anime for free. I'll burn you a CD with Berserk on it. I'm like, what is Berserk? Oh my God. And I was way too young to be watching this stuff, but it was still awesome. Akira Ghost in the Shell is not for kids, but as a kid, I watched it and I was like, this is the coolest. This is for adults. This is mine.
I think they might not like Ghost in the Shell. It's so transhumanist.
And kids shouldn't watch Berserk, fine. But if they watch, if they do happen to watch Berserk, it's first of all, it's pimp and it's the bomb and whatever. But don't, all right. But that's where kids want to see things that maybe the parents would not allow them to see because they're attracted to the idea of what's this forbidden knowledge that I'm ready to learn about this stuff. I'm ready to watch gore and learn about sexy stuff or whatever, but I'm too embarrassed to ask my mom and dad about it. But the danger is, instead of asking someone who might tell you a responsible answer, they're going to creepos online.
Yep.
And that's why I'm scared of like kids being exposed to like, there are certain types of YouTubers who are the cool, creepy youth pastor types who do watch these shows and but they'll guide them to like places where, no, you shouldn't be going there.
This is it. I mean, some kid is going to go to their parents, or they're going to be around their parents. They're going to say, I found this thing I like. And the dad's going to be like, no, that's bad.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, okay, I can't go to my dad or mom with that.
I'm going to do it in secret and watch it in secret.
I'm going to go find the creepy internet person who tells me I feel good.
The rabbit holes where they're not supposed to be.
You got that dude, I don't want to say his name, who has those videos where he's such a Pennywise the clown character. And he's like, tell your parents no.
Yeah.
Run away from them. Hide from your parents. It'll feel good. It's like, wow, this dude's evil.
And there's lots of those types.
Yep.
But why not, fathers,
Demons.
especially fathers, like why not watch anime with your kids? Pre-screen them and find the cool ones if you want to. But do not let your kids just float around the internet finding stuff that can lead them into weird, like that. I don't remember that guy's name even, but I know exactly who you're talking about.
I don't want to say his name.
Okay.
I don't want to give him.
I know who you mean though.
But it's this evil dude who makes these videos where he tells kids to like ignore their parents, to run from them. It's like, it's demonic stuff.
But that's how these types of people find kids who, and even
Predators.
kids without their parents around. Hey, I'll be your family. I'm your found family.
Yep.
Why don't we hang out? And then, they can do whatever they want to the kid or plant whatever memes and seeds into their kid's head. But that's how these weirdos replicate. They find vulnerable kids. I hate to say it that way. They find vulnerable kids, and then there's just more and more of them. And it can be stopped by parents just being a part of their kids' hobbies.
We are not supposed to, as a species, separate ourselves from our children the way we do.
Fair.
That a dad says, I'm off to work, kids, and leaves is an aberration, which is causing societal decay. It used to be, the dad would wake up, let's say blacksmith, and the kid is now 10 years old.
Like Kingdom Come.
And he'd go into the his workshop and he'd be like, son, get in here. I need a pail of water. Yes, dad. And the kid is with his dad the whole time, learning from his dad. The daughter is with the mom. And as a family, they're learning and working with the community. We got to this point in industrialization where it's like, I'm going to work and you will never see what I do. That moment separated parents from instilling their skills, values, and assets to their children. Mm-hmm. And then we put kids in schools, institutionalized learning facilities, so the government could train them.
To train them to be more drones like the parents in the industrial.
Parents got to bring their kids to work.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people here, I'm like, dude, it is a cultural shift that needs to go back.
Yeah.
Like, whenever you're able, we have work parties and stuff. I'll be like, bring your kids, man. And no one should have a problem with it. Human beings should not be like, oh, the baby's crying, I'm angry about it. No, too bad. Too bad. If somebody who works here is like, I'd like to come to the work event, but I have the kids, bring them.
Yeah.
And if anyone has an issue with that, I'm simply gonna say to them like, dude, human beings are this way. That's it.
Too many parents of our generation act like their kids are a burden.
Yep.
It's like,
but not only that, like when I don't get mad when I hear babies crying. I'm not annoyed by it. I'm not frustrated by it. It makes me smile. Like, I'm not the baby suffering.
It makes me panic. Like, oh, we got to help them.
Right.
But then you learn the difference between actual crying and I just want attention crying.
Sure. When I'm on a plane and I hear a baby crying, I don't get angry about it. And I hear the mom saying, like, I can hear like the parents trying to get the baby to stop crying, stop crying. It makes me laugh. I'm like, this is life. These are humans. This is what babies do. So if someone has kids, those kids should periodically visit work. I understand some things can be disruptive. You can't have little kids running around knocking over milk and stuff like that. But within reason, at a certain age, especially like once a kid's like 9 years old, they're old enough to watch their parent work, whatever that work may be, and be involved. I probably have this in me because my family opened a coffee shop and I am 9 years old and I'm working the register. I am refilling the chili. I am stocking the muffins. And that's how things used to be. You worked with your family. And so you learned these values and you earned something from it.